Hey Dimitri, how do you set up the perfect productive day? Guys, fine. I'll make a video on it. Let's go into Google Calendar. I'll show you how to do the day thing. So in order to make a perfect day in Google Calendar, you're gonna have to go to settings first, then add calendar, create new calendar, then the name is gonna be, I'm gonna do an example calendar for video. And after I create this new calendar, first of all, you need to think of your baselines. What does it mean to have a baseline? Well, a baseline is something that happens in your body. You know, what do you got going on regarding how you're feeling about things? Do you feel that you need to wake up at certain times? What are the different things in your life that you have to do from a biological and then a commitment standpoint? Do you have commitments regarding work? And do you have biological commitments to yourself as well regarding eating, sleeping, all those sort of things? First and foremost, what I like to do is think, when am I gonna wake up and go to bed? So for the purposes of this, I think if you're gonna have a perfectly productive day, that's the whole purpose of this video, you gotta wake up by at least 6 a.m. So we're gonna do a 6 a.m. wake up. So you're gonna do this, and actually let's move it back to Sunday, do more options. And I would recommend that 6 days a week you wake up at the same time, okay? So you wake up these 6 days, 6 a.m. Then the next thing you're gonna figure out is, all right, I gotta go to bed by a certain time, so 10 p.m. you're in bed. But actually, if you think about it, you need to be in bed more by like 9:30 in order to be asleep by 10, hopefully to get your 8 hours in. So that's what we're gonna do here. Then, the next thing you need to figure out is, are you actually gonna prepare for bed? Yes, let's put a little 30-minute section of prepare for bed. Because if you don't put these things in, you don't try to stick to them, you're gonna end up Parkinson's lawing your night routine and then not getting as much sleep. So here we go. This is the baselines overall. Then we can add a wake up time on the weekend of like 8 a.m. because that's what we want to do. Wake up at 8, no problem with that. Obviously you can do this does not repeat and then repeat it every week. Change that setting there. And the next thing I would recommend is figuring out what your start of your day is. So let's pretend like people work a 9-to-5 job in this situation. So from the hours of 9 to 5, that's when you work, but obviously you may have a 30-minute commute. So let's do 9 to 5 to work. Obviously you can color code this something different if you would like, then change the commute time to a 30-minute commute. And I usually like to make this guy gray because it's like, yeah, you're just in the car doing nothing. And then do the same sort of commute situation for afterwards. Now when you get home, dinner's probably gonna be an hour and a half, right? Okay, let's do 5:30 to 7 p.m. And before you go to work, you're probably gonna eat some breakfast. So let's go breakfast at 8. Now in order to have a perfectly productive day, you gotta have a good start. And that means if you're gonna have a good start, you need to focus on things that matter to you early in the morning. If you're gonna wake up at 6 a.m., you need something physically and mentally that gets you excited for the day and gets you going, because you don't wanna start off your day just snoozing until you have to go out the door. Regardless of what you feel about waking up early and working out, you should do some light stretching or working out right away. So light workout / stretch, whether that's some push-ups, some stretching, some basic core exercises, whatever it is to get your muscles going in the morning and get you awake while you're cognitively getting out of that funk. Now, if you're somebody who wants to do a full workout, you can take this and extend it here. But if you're somebody else who wants some time to get some work done, I would recommend taking a deep work session and doing it from 6:30 to 8 a.m. So what we're actually gonna do here is condense this wake up time and convince ourselves that we can do all this in 15 minutes each, which I manage to do every morning. If you get that rolling out of bed situation better, you're gonna be fine here. Obviously, you're gonna need like 15 minutes to shower. And then now you have a little bit of time to work on a passion project. So this is just, I'm gonna put a spot for passion / growth. What is the thing in your life that you want to do for almost 90 minutes or 90 minutes? If you crawl back your wake up time by 15, 30 minutes, you can get an hour and a half in here, get some deep work in. And every morning you can get your passion and your growth work for the day done for yourself. For me, the best thing that you can do after dinner is actually be unproductive. So you have this dinner time, and then what I would recommend doing is actually putting something called a shutdown routine here. So this would be basically figuring out what you need to do for the next day and then being grateful for what you've done. So if we take this, do a little shutdown routine, whatever color you want to call it. Essentially, I would recommend figuring out what your to-do list is for tomorrow and then doing a short gratitude practice of telling yourself, hey, this is the good stuff that happened today. Let's figure out what I need to do tomorrow and move forward. And then another thing that I would recommend is relaxing before you lead up to preparing for bed. Now, I know this day doesn't seem like there's much going on, but you gotta just relax a little bit before bed, and then you'll be able to be more recharged for the next day. It's very simple to do something like this, but it does matter that you don't do anything after dinner that's gonna be too strenuous on your mind. So what I would recommend you do in this prepare for bed section, by the way, is actually take the time to do things like this. First of all, you're gonna wanna make sure that everything you have for the next day is ironed out. You know, you have your lunch made for the next day. If you go to work and commute, you have your breakfast ready, if you can do that as well, and you have your clothes laid out for the next day. And lastly, when you prepare for bed, I would recommend starting with some soft music to help soothe you and put you to bed. Then while you're doing things like brushing your teeth, then going through and meditating or reading fiction or journaling on pen and paper. Get off of your phone by the time you hit this 9 p.m. slot, and you'll be asleep by 10 and have had a perfectly productive day. If you like this video, make sure to check out how you can improve your productivity even more.